Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm S. Prabhakar from the Daily Entertainer. Today, I'm bringing the review of ICC Men's T20 World Cup. The ICC Men's T20 World Cup has just concluded, and the well-deserving and all-conquering tournament favorites, India has lifted the World Cup by pulling a miracle and snatching victory from the jaws of a certain defeat. Thanks to South Africa, the infamous chokers choked at again at the winning post. More than sympathizing with the South Africa, one has to accept that it is the way with South Africa, and no team, no captain, no coach could change the fate of South Africa in this aspect over the last 25 years. As far as India is concerned, Captain Rohit has led the team from the front, and he is at his fluent best, scoring second highest number of runs in the edition, hit highest number of sixes, and his striking rate is one of the best in the tournament. His cool and laid back elegance keeps the teammates stress free. Surya, Pant, Axar, Kuldeep, and Pandey have contributed handsomely. Though Kohli had a below par World Cup, his contribution in the final and a remaining top scorer, which mattered the most at the critical juncture. But it is Bumrah who made the difference between India and all other teams. Match after match, he has not only taken wickets at the critical junctures but pulled back the scoring rate and slowed down the proceedings. Whether it is a power play or death overs, no batter in the world dare to take liberties with him, and they are very happy to see off his 4 overs. Though both India and South Africa, who reached the finals, remained unbeaten theoretically, but India has a dominating right through and won their matches comfortably, and no one challenged them till they reached the finals. But on the other hand, South Africa had bruises and had to survive scare from the minnows like Nepal. But once in the finals, South Africa looked a different team and a resolute team altogether, kept India under a tight leash and did not let them run away with the game. India has struggled at half mark, and it is their most reliable but out of the form Kohli who rose to the occasion with a masterly crafted 76 from 56 balls that ably with able support from Axar with 47 from 31 balls made them reach a competitive score of 176 for 7. South Africa began their chase cautiously, and at one stage they were ahead of asking rate with the Decock and especially Klassen with over 200 strike rate, half century threatened to run away with the World Cup. When South Africa has required 26 runs from last 4 overs, the odds were staked heavily against India. Every Indian follower wondered why Rohit is delaying bringing his trump card Bumrah even when India is at the verge of losing the match. Thankfully, Rohit has given Bumrah the 16th over instead of the traditional 17th over, and game has turned on its head by Bumrah, who conceded just 4 runs and took 1 wicket. And South African batters, who were fluent till that point of time, have lost their rhythm and started losing wickets. On the other hand, Hardeep and Hardeep also bowled tight line, and South Africa began to choke. Thus comes the sensational catch by Surya on the first ball of the last over, which almost went for a six. His athleticism and presence of mind under such huge pressure situation is what made that catch as catch of the tournament. It is the turning point and defining moment of the match. It's a perfect climax to India, who has won 18 out of the last 19 matches, the only loss coming in the finals of a 50 over World Cup against Australia, and being the last match and tournament for Rahul Dravid as head coach. As it turned out to be, immediately after the win, Rohit, Kohli, Jadeja announced their retirements from India T20 format. Now coming to the overall review of the World Cup. For the first time, few of the first round matches were played in US. Though there was huge issues concerning the unpreparedness and dangerous pitches and logistic issues, a good beginning has been made in popularizing cricket in non-cricketing nations like US. Also, the largest number of associate countries have participated in this tournament and got an opportunity to rub their shoulders with big brothers of the game. Of all the editions, this World Cup has spun unending surprises, with many winners giving a run for the money to even test playing countries. Just look at these surprising results, which no pundit could predict before the start of the World Cup. Afghanistan defending 150 runs and handing out a defeat to Bangladesh by 8 wickets in Super 8. USA defeating Pakistan in Super Over in the biggest upsets of the edition. Canada win over Iceland by 12 runs. Afghanistan thrashing New Zealand by 84 runs. South Africa stretching to the fullest by Nepal before winning by just 1 run. Scotland scoring 180 runs against Australia, and Australia managed to win just with 2 balls to spare. Afghanistan defeating Australia by 21 runs. Afghanistan entering semi-finals. USA reaching Super 8. Against all predictions, New Zealand, Pakistan failing to reach Super 8, and Australia, West Indies, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh failed to make it to the semis. If there is one team whose stock has gone very high, it is Afghanistan, who defeated 3 test playing teams, namely Bangladesh, New Zealand, and Australia. The large number of fan base which Afghanistan had backed them to enter the finals. Another best thing that this edition of the World Cup is that there is a keen contest between bat and ball. Unlike T20 matches in Premier Leagues all over the globe, it is not the batter bashing the bowlers all over the park all the time. Most of the matches were low scoring matches, and bowlers have successfully defended very low scores, even below 120 to 140 runs. Across all formats, we have forgotten to acknowledge the contribution of the bowlers, and we always celebrate some quick fire at 20 to 30 runs made by a batter, or batter winning a losing match, hitting some lusty sixes towards the end. We are not tuned to appreciate the bowlers tying down the batters and conceding 2 to 4 runs between 16 to 20 overs. Their toe crushing Yorkers and maintaining excellent line and length in the game where rules are so heavily staked against them, with minimal margin of error in the format of wides and no balls. There was a time when cricket lovers all over the world used to throng the stadiums to watch the fearsome quartet of West Indies fast bowlers. In the same way, the great Indian spin quartet of Bedi, Prasanna, Venkatraghavan, and Chandra waving their spin web around the top batters of the world. The flighted deliveries testing the patience of the batters before they reach them, the way Chandra used to make most of the destructive batsmen like Greenidge, Richards, Lloyd, Chappell brothers dance, failing to read his unconventional bowling action and leg spin, was the sight to behold. In the next generation of bowlers, Kapil, Akram, Wakar, Megra, Muralidharan, Warne, Kumble won many matches for their teams. In the present crop of bowlers, Bumrah, Rashid, Cummins, Asanga, and many more can turn any match on its head anytime. In this World Cup, ever reliable star bowlers Bumrah, Arshdeep, Akshar Patel, Kuldeep, Rashid, and Faruqi made the contest between the bat and ball very interesting. Even in the finals, when it looked as if everything was gone against India, Bumrah, Pandey, and Arshdeep pulled a miracle. This World Cup has brought a semblance of balance between the batters and bowlers. The cricket lover should also reprogram their expectations and equally enjoy and celebrate the performances of the bowlers. A good Yorker beating the batter all ends up should be cheered the way a six is. A maiden over or conceding of 3-4 runs in the death overs should be cheered the way scoring of some 20-25 runs in an over. The 16th and 18th over of Bumrah in the finals is worth as much as Kohli's much celebrated 28 runs against Pakistan in one of the earlier encounters. As Gambhir always says, in the last 50 over World Cup has been much more than the last six by Dhoni. The all-round performance of Yuvraj Singh, including his bowling and fielding, is worth many more times than the match-winning innings of Dhoni in the finals. Let players do not think and focus in making few 20 runs plus towards the end and hog the limelight. So next time, whenever one says King Kohli, they should say Badshah Bumrah in the same breath. A World Cup worth the wait and the hype, a perfect template for wholesome entertainment, and congratulations to all the teams to make it a grand success. As far as India is concerned, once the celebrations are over, Indian T20 team should get down in rebuilding a new team after the retirement of greats like Kohli, Rohit, and Jadeja. Under the new coach Gautam Gambhir, after Rahul has laid down his office at the end of this World Cup. That's all for today. I, S. Pavakar from Delhi Entertainer, sign off.